to playing. See if that's better. So, Cry for the Answer was written when I stayed with my folks after they had sold house on Denker between Western and Normandy on 50th Street. They moved into this tiny little bungalows, a series of them, like 8 or so. And they moved into this little kind of 1-bedroom little bungalow thingy. And it had a bed that would come off out of the wall, and that's where I slept for a while when I was coming in off the road. There was a time there where my sister had the bungalow right next to it, and she was rarely there, and I kind of set up my studio in there. But at any rate, this was before that. When I first came down from Eugene, which was probably 72, since I turned 21 in Eugene, my folks would kind of be in the living room watching TV and whatnot, since they were well retired, and I'd go into their bedroom, or if they were out somewhere, you know, I'd have their bedroom to work with. And I'd sit there and play guitar, just play guitar and write songs, wrote a handful of songs in there, in that environment. I'd go into the bathroom because it had a nice echo, it had a better ring to it. And Cry for the Answers was one of those songs written that. And the standard issue guitar where you have like a C and then you drop it down to a B and then maybe hold a D up there, and then you drop it down to a B flat and then down to some A. So it's just descending thing. Dozens of songs written from, you know, with that kind of thing, you know, off the C, because it's just falls natural on the guitar, and it's just a natural thing to sort of do. Everyone learns it and learns some song or another that's been written with that. And I think it might have been written right around the time that the attack on the Israeli compound in the Olympics. Was that the German Olympics? Wasn't that 72 or something? So there was that, you know, there was like a lot of stuff stirring, and that song, yeah, came about. Oddly enough, I'll tell you something about it. Was just the guitar. I used to play that song live all the time because, again, it was a natural thing that you would do on guitar. And I played it a lot, and when I started the production of it, for some reason, just the loop and the guitar and the voice sounded kind of good. And I thought, why don't you know, maybe this will be that song that just gets sung with the guitar and voice and all the way through. Maybe I'll add, you know, some harmony here and there, and it'll be that kind of song. But then for some reason, I think it happened in my mind before it got anywhere near an external reality, but I think I played it and I was humming a bass to it, you know, something, but I was a part. It wasn't like I was playing something on the gear. It was like I was walking, or I was in a car as a passenger, and I started imagining this spacewalk through that song. Could have been driving and listening to that song, but I think I was definitely in the car moving, and I first recall that comes up is that I was a passenger, but I could have easily have been driving it and driving the car and just imagining the bass line to it, although I never did when I played it, in playback in the studio. It was not like I said, and I did later. But the initial thought was like, hey, maybe I could roll this thing through. Maybe I could unheavyize it a little bit and lift it up, make it a little lighter. I was already doing, a lot of acoustic guitar, which is, on this album has become the go-to lightener upper. But a walking bass just seemed to do it. It seemed to do it in my head, and then when I played it back and listened to it and imagined it, it seemed to do it then. And then I sat and rehearsed and just played the bass, the walking bass, for a while. I remember one of those rehearsal, Kate and I had a fight about something, and it wasn't really a wicked one, but it was one of those kind of, I'm going to the other room and I'm going to be in the other room away from you for a while, kind of things. So I went up and started practicing, it's like, okay, now what am I going to do with myself? Okay, so I started practicing bass guitar. So I started practicing bass guitar, on those chord changes. And then when I actually finally played it, I was just stunned. I was just like elated and stunned. Is there a word for that? It's like you're happy, but you're like in a state of disbelief. Did that just happen? Am I hearing what I think I'm hearing? All of a sudden, the song became like, whoa, yeah! it just, it went from, oh, it's me, to, whoa, it's me, well, I think I'm just, you might as well cry for the answer. So, anyhow, that was the biggest rush, and that happened recently. Let's see, early October maybe of 2017, where that bass went down, and the song itself was written in '72, and and kept more or less as acoustic voice thing. Until last year. Okay, so let's see. I think I've got one more tune to describe in me, and then I'm going to pack up the cameras and go home. Let's see, 10 minutes, that ought to do it. Yeah. No clap. Dude. And it would help. So, fearless love. An homage to Santana, if you will. But fearless love came by around 84, 85, again when when my girlfriend had split, it was we were right on the way to being married. We really thought of each other as married. But at any rate, she decided, she just committed to me, and she was too young, and so for months there, I was a lot of emotional energy going on, and I was playing, living in Santa Ana. And I was playing this club in Irvine, and I think it was this waitress and I were kind of, eyeing each other, sort of. I'd been playing there a few days. And her boyfriend, which she wasn't all that happy about, came by and he played some guitar and he says, "Hey, can I play you a song? I wrote this song." And he started playing the song, and it was the chord changes to Evil Ways. It was kind of the same tempo, and it was just like Evil Ways with a melody or different quasi-melody, different words kind of thing. But it was that two minor, that minor, and then going to the two, in the same minor seventh, kind of jazzy thing. And when I saw him play that, I thought, well, I can do that. Those chords, the Santana thing. I can write a Santana song, and it'll just be my Santana song. Yeah, it sounds like Santana. Yeah, I meant it. I wanted to get that thing that they're so cool at, And so I wrote it. The lyrics just, it's just a groove. So the funny thing is that the first set of lyrics and the second verse are probably rewrites of the first verse. I think I wrote the first verse and I thought, I could rewrite that. And so I rewrote it again, and for some reason that became the second verse of the song. So they're kind of sort of the same verse. And then I wanted to go to like a relative minor and get a different attitude going, get away from the Santana thing maybe a little bit, or not, or just melodically shift it. So I added that change. And then came the video. I wrote it and just had it around. It was easy to play, but the lyrics were kind of the same, even though I really liked the lyrics. So I didn't play that often until I hit the Casey stretch in the 90s, where it was singer-songwriter, and I would always shoot to play at least 2, if not 3, and sometimes 4 full sets of original material. And so woke that song up and threw that thing in the mix, because it was pretty straight ahead to play. Yeah, it was a Santana thing, but it was an homage to Santana, so what the hey, play it. But it was always missing that quintessential Santana thing of the percussion going, while the other guitar players are playing their regular 4 stuff. Or 8th notes, and occasional 16th, but you have this percussion going 16th, 30 seconds over the top. Woo! And it lightens it up. And so it was one of those places that I applied the Gibson Hummingbird technique to. And it really worked. And again, this was one of those things where I was driving along, or I think I was a passenger again. Seems like I remember just sitting and imagining the tune, and then thinking, wait a minute, I could get Richie Havens to come over and play some guitar. Wish I could say it was easy. It just I'm an excellent rhythm guitar player. but yeah, took a lot of work, and you get to pick, to keep the pick in your hands as you're going. Is the trick, because the pick is just going. And there's a lot of up stuff, and it's, so I practiced. Yeah. I practiced plenty, playing it fast. I wouldn't try to play that fast and sing it. It had to be something else. I would probably sound like I was in a blender. I don't know how Havens did it. He's just that singular talent. So, but there, and when I played it over that, it was like bing! It was the last little Santana piecey thing that needed to go on there. 16th and 30 seconds, and boom! All of a sudden, the song just kind of went, wow. But I had done the video for it in the 90s, and that video is the hardest video I have yet to work on, and it was intended to be the easiest video ever, because I just wanted to knock it out. The song itself, I didn't have a lot invested in it, because it was so Santana-y thingy, that I thought, well, yeah, maybe I could do this. So the original concept of the video was to have four guys sitting in a room playing like they were rehearsing, and they were going to go through a top to bottom rehearsal. It's like one of those, okay, nobody stops even if you make a mistake. Keep going as if we have an audience. Okay, so no stopping. And then you play it through, and to capture one of those, like in the living room of the band, playing. That was the original intent. I thought I could do that, like boom, 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 boom. I don't know what happened. I think I was reading like blue screen stuff, reading articles on blue screening. And so I thought, I'll do that. I will shoot everything behind the blue screen, and then I'll make whatever room I want those guys to be in a cyber world. And then another committee meeting of one happens, and someone says, how about a stadium? Put him in a stadium. Well, yeah, I'll shoot it blue screen and put him in a stadium. And then someone else in the committee says, how about we put the stadium like on a planet? And then how about if this planet is like a little planetoid, and it goes out into it's like out in space. So you have the band inside the stadium on this planetoid that's drifting through space. Oh, okay, let's do that instead. And it never got done. I could say it broke me, but I think I was no more busted up than I ever have been through that process. But it definitely took. The year was 1995, and I was just done working at US West. And I had this apartment, and I had this money, and I bought some software for like $5,000 for this software program to run on these Macs. And of course I had best Macs I could get my hands on. I had a pair of them. I think it was 7100 at that time. And so I proceeded to learn this $5,000 program on this top-of-the-line Mac, and I didn't have to worry about rent or I didn't have to worry about money, because I put away all the money I had made working for US West, or virtually all, and I was single. I had just kind of split the sheets with another wife slash girlfriend living person, and so there was just me and then this money I made from this job, which, by the way, this person that had gone on to live in Phoenix, it was her job and I took it over when she left for Phoenix. And the plan was that I would do the job for a while, and then they would replace me and I would go on to be with her in Phoenix. But we fought. The stress just put us in a fighting kind of thing, and I just lost that camera there. Let's see what I can do around here. I think it was off and I just turned it back on. So I got 20 minutes out of that. Come in. You're at 5 minutes. I'm restarting you now.